Yo, yo, yo. And we're back to modeling, man. Modeling, organizational modeling. I'm going to tell you this. I kind of found a groove happening. So what effectively I do is I kind of like make a video and then I watch something. So it's kind of like I talk, I feel a bit tired, and then I kind of like watch something else. And within that time span, I kind of like rejuvenate, and then I make another video. And over the past 3 days, I have done about, I think 30, right? No, I think about, about 24 videos. So hopefully by the end of today, I'd do 30 videos, and tomorrow we finish everything, or tomorrow after tomorrow, we're done with everything. I love you guys. Woohoo! Organizational modeling. We're back to modeling, yeah? And the purpose is to understand how the organization functions, I assume. To describe the roles, responsibilities, and reporting structures exist within the organization, and to align those structures with the organization's goals. Perfecto. If you were to describe it, an organizational model defines how an organization, literally the hierarchy of the organization, like where are the departments, who's in charge, and all that fucking nonsense. A group of people to fulfill a common purpose. A group may be organized because the people share a common set of skills and knowledge, or to serve a particular market. Yeah, it's like, it's a corporation, right? Like, it's something kind of like connected. Anyways, an organizational model is a visual representation of an organizational unit which defines the boundaries of the group, who is in the group, the formal relationships between members, who reports to whom, the function role of each person, and the interfaces, interactions, and dependencies between the unit and other units of stakeholders. Coffee. What are the elements? Well, basically, like there are types of organizational model. There are functional oriented. Functionally oriented, I've been researching this for a while, actually. Wait. All right, I have no idea. I don't know what I'm looking at. What I thought of was to work with organizations as a series of functions, as in the organization operates as a system more than it is as an organism. Anyways, there are 3 preeminent organizational models. The functionally oriented model, which is basically group staff together based on shared skills or areas of expertise, and general encourage the standardization of work or process within the organization. Functional organizations are beneficial because they seem to facilitate cost management and reduce duplication of work, but are prone to develop communication and cross-functional issues. Makes sense, because like if everyone's in charge on one side, then more of the effort is kind of like, if everyone's in charge of their own shit, then more of the effort is communicating where they are and all that other stuff. Where they are, how they're doing, because like, I assume everyone kind of like, they're not operating separately, they're operating under the whole. So ultimately all of them have to meet at one point and then kind of like go do their thing and meet and do their thing. But here basically like executive function, incumbent name, and management function, incumbent name, management function, incumbent name. What the fuck is this nonsense? Okay, this is a hierarchy basically, right? Vacancy, area management function, no staff. Staff function, incumbent name, staff incumbent name. So it's separated based on departments, and that's basically like the normal organization. Market-oriented, a normal hierarchy is each person's in charge of something, right? Or each department's in charge of something, and this is how basically they structured it. Market-oriented may be intended to serve particular customer groups, geographical areas, projects, or processes, rather than grouping employees by common skill or expertise, right? Like accounting department, marketing department, shit like this. So this one is intended to serve particular customer groups. And market-oriented structures permit the organization to meet the needs of its customers, but are prone to developing inconsistencies with how work is performed. Yes, that's where basically the core value is kind of like, the value of the company kind of like seeps into everything and the principles that the company operates in. So it's very important for like, market-driven basically like market-oriented companies to kind of have like, to understand, they have to, like everything they speak, like here, for example, market one, research, manufacturing, marketing and sales, product, all that kind of stuff are within one group. So this for me is optimal. But the idea behind it is the thing that connects all of them together is what the company is about, what are they trying to do, how they're trying to get to the world. So the messaging, marketing would become different. All of these have to basically be connected to each other. And the third one is the matrix model. It has separate managers for each functional area and for each product, service, or customer group. Okay, I'm going to go back to this one because I feel like I ended abruptly. When I say connected to each other, there's a thread that connects all of them together. Here, they're showing it here. See? I don't know if you can see my fucking... okay, I'm going to do this just for you guys to kind of like see. You see? All right, I'm going to do this now so you can see this. You see this line? This connects all different basically like departments together or segments or... Because every market here is represented by a group that's working, right? Like people that are working on something, right? And they're targeting that group. And the staff seem to be here supportive roles between the president and them. And then finance is shared support, accounting, planning, all of these are kind of like shared support. But all of them are connected, so the marketing has to sound the same. Like if I'm marketing a different product or for a different market, it still has to represent who we are as a business. And that's where values and principles come in. Matrix model has separate managers for each functional area and for each product, service, customer group. Employees report a line of manager who is responsible for the performance of a type of work and for identifying opportunities and efficiencies. Line manager, project manager, employee, line manager, area 2, area 3. I don't get it. Also, every 3 employees basically has like every project. Okay, so I get it. Every area has its own employees and it has its own manager, but there's each one of them kind of like are under a project of some sort, and there's a project manager that kind of like encompasses all. So one project requires area 1, area 2, and area 3 basically of skill sets or expertise. So what they do is they kind of encompass all the employees, but each employee kind of like reports to the project manager and to each individual manager that's directly on top of them based on the skill they're working with. Interesting. So there are roles basically. An organization unit includes a number of defined roles. Each role requires a certain set of skills and knowledge, has specific responsibilities, performs certain kinds of work, and has defined relationships with other roles and organizations. Interfaces and how they interact, we talked about it earlier, is like each organization unit has interfaces with other organization units, how they interact, and all the good shit. Organizational charts, the fundamental diagram used in organizational modeling is the organizational chart.org. Organization chart. There's no recognized standard for org charts, although there are some conventions that most org charts follow. A box depicts organizational units, roles and people. A box depicts either an organizational unit or roles and people. A line depicts reporting, and a circle starts and ends. And a diamond, if I'm not mistaken, a diamond represents a kind of like an if-else statement, like this. If this happens, this, and if this, or this, or kind of could be a hierarchy. I need to remember what they're called, man. It's like diagrams, right? Diagrams with squares, diamonds, arrows, and circles. Name. Oh. There seems to be no internet. Okay. So an organization unit has people, teams, departments, and divisions. Chart may mix organizational units and show a mix of people, teams, and higher level divisions. Roles and people, the roles within the organization and the people assigned to each role. A line depicts lines of reporting, accountability, and control between units. A solid line typically denotes direct authority, while a dotted line indicates information transfer. All right. Influencers and organizational charts are the primary tool for beginning organization modeling. Organizational charts to present the formal structure of organization. Business analysts also identify informal lines of authority, influence, and communication which may not directly align with the formal organizational chart. Yeah. These influencers are sometimes just respectable figures, right? that are smart enough to ask the good questions. They're probably like organization. I say they're probably senior in their field, not necessarily in management, because when somebody becomes an expert at something, they kind of like are able to develop expertise in everything else depending on their interest. So determining all the influencers is important in planning communication and making provisions for user acceptance. One method of identifying influencers may be to ask stakeholders, who can I ask? And note, and basically, or to kind of like when you're observing, you kind of like look at people interacting with each other, and you kind of like see one person where people flock to. They just go more people go to them. And it's because they're kind of like trustworthy, or they've established some political capital among the organization. Here goes to for information, direction, and advice. Other method is to note who speaks for the group in meetings. Considerations. What are the strengths? Organizational models are common in most organizations, including the organization model and business analysis information allows team. You kind of need that. The bigger the organization, the more you need a model in order for people to understand how knowledge is transferred. Now, the limitations are they're out of date because everything needs to be, updated. And informal lines of authority, influence, and communication not reflected in the org chart are more difficult to identify and may conflict with the organizational chart. Yes, informal lines of authority versus authority. It's kind of like the politics behind the political structure of a country versus the civil structure of the country. They're kind of like separate, and they're always trying to like, whatever. Hey, next step is prioritization. Cool beans. I love you guys.